All right, so now we are going to the other Transformer I got, the other Combaticon, which is Brawl, and just a quick look at him in the box. Of course, he's part of the Age of the Primes. Looking forward to completing Bruticus once we get Onslaught, which is the leader, and which I got on pre-order, but it's going to be a little bit, I think, in a few months, but I think. And then I'm not sure about Swindle. Like, I haven't seen a pre-order for him yet, but it should be the last one, and I believe he'll be, I mean, he should be the same class as this Voyager, which is larger than Deluxe. And since he forms one of the legs, Swindle is the other leg, he's got to be about the same comparable kind of size and I guess features in some way. So not much else to say about this in the box here. Yeah, I think he's looking pretty good, and I hear good things about this character in this particular version here. So I'll open it up and take a look at it real quick. All right, so got him out of the box and transformed him into from robot to here, and I'll transform him back. Let me just back up just a little bit. And yeah, looks pretty good in tank mode. And you can choose to keep these on. Otherwise, you know, there's not really any other place to store these cannons. I don't think there's any tank present or in the past have ever had a set of extra cannons on the back hanging off of this. So this is pretty fictional, but as far as it goes, it looks pretty good. And as far as I can remember, this is pretty close to how the G1 Brawl toy was like too. But of course those were much smaller. And yeah, it does have wheels, but they don't roll that well. These ones seem to roll a little better. These ones on these corners seem to be a little bit stiff, or they get stuck. I can roll them, but they need to be loosened up. Otherwise, they just basically would just kind of slide across the surface without actually rolling, unless maybe, perhaps, yeah, if you got something grippy enough, such as this cutting mat, it may grab just a hold of it just enough to roll, but otherwise, like a smooth surface, probably even carpet, it will probably just kind of just roll straight over, you know, slide over rather than roll over. Not a big deal, but you can still maneuver it. These things don't add that much really, but looks good. Just a couple gaps, but that's to be expected somewhat. I'd say the turret cannon can rotate, pivot, go up and down, elevate. This cannot go 360, obviously, not just because these would block it if you kept them, even if you removed them. Just the way this is done, it's just very much a limitation. So basically forward or side firing, where you have to turn around all together. These, of course, can go up and down independently, and you can just simply remove them if you need to. Coloring looks good. This olive green kind of color, very military-like. And it's pretty decent details in the tank tread. Of course, if you did some panel lining, it would probably look even better. Really bring out the details and add some depth to it, as well as all around, but I'm not going to do that. But it's something if you really want to add some detail. So to transform them, this will only be the second time because I've only done it once transforming into this. I believe these need to be unlocked, which is in front of the tank treads. Kind of go, see how to just pull them open like that. And I'm trying to figure this out from memory here. I just did it. I think, do they fold out this way? Oh yeah, there we go. These just kind of unclip from here, and you can just fold those out to about here, and then you want to unlock these tabs here that are holding the tank tread in, and rotate these maybe back out this way, if I recall. And actually this probably needed to be undone first. So somewhere here, but it doesn't really matter. This will probably eventually need to be opened up. So I'm going to do that right now. And let's see, back up just a little wider and leave these fold up like this. Well, let's see, they kind of get in the way right here. So maybe, all right, we need to separate the legs. And then we can get in here and fold these, basically collapse these back into here. And then these will basically come down here. And I don't believe these move anywhere. You should just lock this into place like that. This should end up being the foot, obviously. But then you should be able to, like most of the modern transformers, you can do like this ankle bend or so pivot right here. So on this side. So I think that's it for the legs. As far as the rest of them, let's see. I think he needs to be flipped back because this is the front of the toes. And then this goes in here to finishes forceps. And then these come down. And, oh, wait a minute. Oh, before I do that, guess this should open up. Oh, okay, this probably folds down like so, clips in there, and then you can open the chest up, and hopefully, it's kind of hard to get a grip on his head here. It's kind of really inset there. See how am I going to pull that head out? Maybe, yeah. I can go through here, help pop his head out like that, and drop the chest down, and then close that up, and then basically, I think our arms just rotate down like so, and I feel like his arms are in the wrong spot, like. No, but they don't rotate down anymore, though. I feel like his shoulders are a little bit more narrower than I remember them being. It's curious. This thing just can't move up like this. They don't really explain this part. Like it can lift up here and drop down, but I'm pretty sure this is how it's supposed to be in robot mode because it'll be kind of high up. I gotta check the arms. I feel like I'm missing. Oh, I am. They need to. Sorry, they basically need to just rotate out like that, and there you go. Now I thought his shoulders were kind of narrow. There we go. Now he's got the full articulation. And I don't think these lock into anything. And there you go. And this blaster. Yeah, you could probably put this on here when you're in tank mode. Although I feel like the cannons would be on top, would be kind of in the way. So I think. I saw that you could maybe plug them in on the side. Oh, here, like this. This is where it's supposed to be. Sorry, I missed it earlier. You can plug them over here. This thing, when it's tank mode and the cannons would go right over it, that wouldn't be an issue. I just missed that instruction. My bad. As far as weapon handling goes, I mean, obviously this go on his arm, or I guess you can stow it in the back if you didn't want to have him hold it. And the guns basically have two places they can go. They can either go back here. Let me see, how did he have it before? I guess it was just like that. There's two ways to do this. Either stick them on here like this, in the back here, just plug into the back, and then they just can store them in the back like this. I think there was another way to do this. Hold on. Let's double check. Oops. Nope. Not that way. Yeah, don't over rotate them or they will pop out. But it's easier to just stick them back in. Pretty sure this is what they showed me in the beginning. Yeah, so just get them plugged in good, and you can straighten that out a little bit. That's one way to store it. It looks something like that. Or, like whenever you see these things, you can always make them like blasters on the arms. But I think he should be holding it. Otherwise, the alternate version to mount these and is to rotate this around and then I believe mount him over his shoulder like this. Again, on both sides, basically the same thing. Then he's got the cannons over the shoulders like that, or I guess you can aim out high. But yeah, so these are the two basic ways to mount it. Now he's got some waist articulation. Of course, might be limited by this, depending, or I think you should probably, I think his classic configuration is basically like this. And I guess I would just leave these on the back like so. There's no other way to do this, right? I mean, you know what, I guess technically you could store them like this, but it's kind of weird. And I guess you could do that in tank mode as well. But we'll go with the official instructions, which are to stick it in like this. Oops. Holding it weird from this angle. There we go. And just make it as straight as possible. I'm going to be wary about pulling these in and out all the time. I can see it getting loose over time. You play with it a lot, that is. And I showed you, like, he's got some bit of, the arms can definitely go 360 all the way around on both. Got elbow joint bend, 90 degrees. There's no twist in the hands, you know, so they just basically point. You can't really angle them any other way, but it's all right. Head has, of course, you can rotate all the way around if you want it, and a little bit up and down. And let's see, waist splits, kick forward, back. Of course, this is always the limiting factor here. And I showed this earlier, but the feet can, you know, kind of pivot or angle out like that, so you can get them in some more dynamic poses, the knee bends, stuff like that. So that's basically it. Again, not the best way to stow these, I think. Just the way they mount onto the, it's not a, I don't think it's the best joint here. Or tab, the way they just tab in like this and get kind of wanky. But he'll probably, like the other ones, be in display fairly static for the most part, and that won't be too much of an issue. Or again, like the other combiners, they'll just be in combiner mode, and so they'll be probably in an a version of their tank mode or the vehicle mode, and configured to be whatever component it is on Bruticus. In this case, he is his left foot, right, facing front. That's the left foot, and this window should be here. Vortex, obviously, you see a helicopter, and blast off is right there, and of course onslaught will be in the main center. So yeah, pretty cool. I think proportionately he looks really pretty good. I don't feel like, unlike some certain combiners in the group, there's always something a little off, and like sometimes they often have like particularly short limbs, arms that don't look that great. In terms of like any kind of open gaps, okay, inside here, I guess inside the wrist, that kind of is very typical, but for the most part, it looks fairly concealed or not that noticeable. I'm not sure, but I would imagine there's probably going to be some aftermarket parts you can get to like upgrade it, fill in some part, like inside here and any other places, like you do with some of the other Transformers, just to make just a little bit nicer and more complete, I guess. But overall, yeah, I think he's a pretty good character, and he looks good in all its different modes. It's funny when they decide to put the Decepticon logo like just on the arm versus like on a chest somewhere. Was that how he was like before? I don't remember. Yeah, not the best way to connect, because this point in the way it's easy to, like, when you grip it wrong, you're gonna start moving things and they get all kind of loosey goosey, like how easy this is. Really, it's not falling off, but it's just easy to just misalign it, and that's kind of OCD thing of mine when things are just a little bit not perfectly straight or aligned as they should be. So we'll just leave it at that. Again, much like Blast Off, interesting that they don't use red eyes as them being Decepticons. They usually have red eyes, and he has orange. But it's still a cool look, though. Nonetheless, it's different. I guess you don't have to have red eyes, but yeah, it looks good. So what else? I think that's it. I don't have anything nearby to compare him to, but there are other videos on this, and you get an idea of the size. He's very comparable to any other Voyager class Transformers in this series. And overall, most of the Transformers that have been coming out the last couple of years have been pretty well proportioned to each other. They seem about right, which is good. I like to, whenever possible, it's always best if you can get these all in, hopefully into some scale with each other that looks proportionally correct. But there are some exceptions. yeah, but the overall they're doing pretty good. I don't think I can keep them all in scale with each other. I just getting things as I like, and sometimes that requires an aftermarket or third party, or is it really a second party? Just an off-brand that does their version of Transformers, but they're not officially a license. Such as Magic Square, I have basically their version of the Triple Changer, Blitzwing, and Astro Train, and they're nice. They're very cool, not that expensive. They look, their modes are good. Especially for a triple changer, it's really hard to get like all of the forms to look really correct, but they seem pretty correct. And very G1. And the only thing is, at least they are a little bit smaller in scale compared to the other Transformers. So it is a bummer that they can't be about the same size. At least there are lots of options out there, but the ones I have are like that. But hey, it is what it is. I'm not complaining. I'm just glad I have some. At least the main goal is not to have them in proportion, but to be a nice, pretty decent version of certain characters that I like. I don't try to collect everything. Just the main ones that interest me. So that's about it. Guess this kind of a review. I just only got this. Oh, I did get it a while ago. It's actually, it feels like at least a month ago at this point. Somewhere in January, and this is February. So just haven't had time to crack them open until recently. And yep, just might as well do it now. Enjoy them in their modes, because likely when the rest of the team members eventually all getting all of them, they will probably be all transformed and combined together in one giant Bruticus mode, right? So enjoy it while I can in this, because it's going to be a while till I see them in this or the vehicle modes by themselves once they're combined. Nothing much to add. Thanks for watching, and just catch you in the next one later.